Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Purplatypus is the name, and today we're talking about the Lady NUWA boss at the Diet Building. This is like the first major boss. There's a couple like little road bumps bosses in the way, and then I think this is the first big one. It kind of concludes the first zone. That being said, it is a pretty easy boss overall if you have the right strategy. I know when the game originally released, this boss gave a lot of people a lot of problems, me included. It took me several tries. In my comments, because I made a video on this boss, showed that people were like, oh, this boss kicked my ass. Now, honestly, when you got the right strats, it's very easy. And just to summarize what she's going to do in our strategy, and then afterwards I'll show you my team, and then you will see me going through the fight. So, she has a pretty similar attack. I did the fight twice. Once where I go and use a spyglass, kind of feel out the first few turns. Then I go make a team, come back, and actually attempt to defeat the boss. So, on her first turn, she uses Mazio. So you could choose to either have one character with lightning immunity. If at least one character has immunity, it will skip the rest of her turn. If you could just also use a electric dampener, will give you the same effect, but you lose some damage that way. But that's not really the end of the world. Second turn, she's going to start with Zanma. So again, this one, you actually want to use a force dampener because she's going to target something. So having one character with force immunity is not going to make her skip her turn. So you're going to want to use a force dampener on that turn, and it'll keep you safe. And then when she charges up her Magatushi gauge or whatever, Sacrifice of Clay, right? It's big, giant force attack, force dampener. She sits there, does nothing, and then you basically kill her. You could do this fight after the third turn. I don't really know the pattern because I just kill her in the first three turns. I go all in on the fire theme. Fire is her weakness. Fire is one of the most powerful elements if you get to about level 22. At this stage of the game, like there's just a lot of powerful fire stuff you could be doing. So it's actually like the game feels like it knows that you have a lot of powerful fire stuff, and she has it. Her resistances are all there, so you could try to land them, but I wouldn't really try to build a thing around it. But yeah, that's kind of what you see when you do that. So we're just gonna do a fuck ton of fire damage, use some dampeners, and have a good day. So let's actually go in and take a look at the team here. Big capture, get out of here. So I'm using Iberis as the main point. I kind of have, so for me, the way I build my teams, I kind of have second slot and third slot are like, they're kind of weird. They're like my non-DPS slots. Slot 1 and 3 are DPS slots, and slot 2 and 4 are like support slots for the most part. Not always, but like you'll see what I mean here. So the order of my team is relevant to the build that I'm using as well because of the way the game works, right? Because this dictates turn order in addition to also like you need to exploit weaknesses on at least every other turn starting with the first turn in order to get the most amount of turns. So Ant Varus here, Ant Varus. That's it. They're on here because they got Fire Assault. Just good fire damage that boosts their own fire damage. Magic stats kind of dog water, if I'm being honest, but it's all right. You could either use some magic instant. He does enough damage, right? The boss is weak, and we're doing a lot of things that will increase his damage, so it'll be good. The only thing he had trouble with is I was using Fire Breath. Fire Breath does definitely more damage than Mirage Shot, but Fire Breath also, you could get this from an Essence Infusion, which is what I did. It just takes so much mana. You're going to run out before the end of the fight. So I probably did Fire Breath twice, and then I switched to Mirage Shot for the rest of the fight. Medium fire damage, chance of inflicting Mirage. Never inflicted the Mirage, but again, the boss, I think, literally did not 0 damage. I think she just did 1 force attack on one thing because I didn't want to basically... I didn't really care. I just tanked 1 hit. But for the most part, Mirage is not useful in this fight. So he's just gonna exploit the weakness, and he's like the secondary main DPS, but he is one of the main DPS for sure. You could try using Concentrate. The issue is it's kind of hard to use Concentrate in this game. If I had him in my flex spot in slot 2 or 4, you could use it, and then on the other turn you could do it, but I don't feel like it actually gives you more damage. It's not like you deal double damage when you do this. This is more you get like some more damage, and it'll save you MP overall in a longer fight. Kind of an awkward ability that I normally love in RPGs, but it doesn't feel quite powerful enough here yet, but maybe that'll change as we get to the higher level abilities. I'll keep trying it out. I love Mikami here. Mikami is great. Faithful Companion. Increase the damage for the ally that acts after the user when striking weakness. That makes this character a perfect flex spot character. So this is going to hit weakness, so we get our lit up turn icon, right? And so now this character can consume the lit up turn icon to do anything they want, basically. Any action. So I have the option to do Agi if you want to light up a second turn icon for some reason. That way you can free up other turns to do other things. But really, what they're here for is to just lower the defense of the enemy. Lower it to stage 2. I don't think you could do stage 3. I think it's 2 stages. I don't fully remember. But the icon only shows 2 stages. So basically, we're going to lower their defense and keep it low throughout the entire fight. And then we're going to do a little bit of backup DPS with the ability to revive if we need to. You could add any other support ability you want here. I would actually probably remove Agi. Maybe not Agi. Maybe Mazio or Recarm and add a ability to raise the attack of a character. Just to increase your damage that much more, because this is more of a burst them down as fast as possible. Important thing about this boss I am not mentioning till now. You only have to get her to half health, but there-ish, half-ish health. I don't know the exact marker, but it seems to be about half health. But Faithful and Companion is great. That means if they're in slot 2, your slot 3, your main DPS is going to be doing a ton of damage. Just already, I'm planning on exploiting weakness on that turn with my most powerful damage dealer. That's also going to be getting a boost from the Flame Companion. Also, increases this. You could probably use this character in the 3rd spot, honestly. It probably would have been more damage because they get bonus fire damage based on the fire potency of the party, and he has fire breath, which this other character doesn't have. But I ended up putting this character here because they just looked cooler, basically. So he's here in the flex spot just to lower defense and increase our damage. He could be with Faithful Companion. He's increasing damage, and he can do anything else you want. Very, very badass demon, and probably gonna make. I'm probably gonna use a Faithful Companion demon very frequently in my build, unless there's another innate skill that just seems broken. Fire Medley here on the Avian Fang Huang. While in the active party, deal increased damage when striking fire weakness for all allies. So again, I would probably switch this character up with this one because I don't think they do quite as much damage. But basically, they're just using a medium fire attack every single turn. That's what they do. That's all they care about doing. They're just smacking them really hard. They're the primary DPS of this team with no variation. They do have a media, so if your team for somehow gets low, and I light up a turn icon here, I could light up a second turn icon here, and then I could use media here to do one of the other turn icons, and then my main character, who doesn't have access to a fire attack, can use the other lit up turn icon. So you're not losing any turns, basically, over the course, because you only need to exploit weaknesses about half the time. Every other turn, if you do it 4 times out of 8 actions, you only need to do it half to get all your actions, right? Exploiting weaknesses is very, very important, but you don't need to do it for all 8 actions, is all I'm trying to say. So this character just hits really hard. That's all they do. That's kind of why I recommend level 22, because you get to get this character. They do have fire breath if you get up to a little bit higher of a level. But again, you can also just get fire breath from an essence. I don't remember what essence, but you don't need to be level 22 for this fight, honestly, but it is something that is viable. You get a lot of fire. The only other fire melody, I think, is like the onion guy in the beginning of the game, and so that could be a little rough. So 22 is a pretty good spot, although I'm sure the onion guy is great if you level him up to this point. Purpy boy we're using here. Mine just set up for damage, right? 40 strength right now. Rooted soul, miracle water. Basically, I have them in the final flex spot because I just want them to, the 2 flex spots can also move, but also this just allows me to, he could heal a little bit, but usually they're just using beat down and just, at max HP, just smacking things as hard as he can, turn after turn. There's not a lot of physical options at this stage. Aramasa is good sometimes, but I don't use it that much. This is basically just like, honestly, my character is fine, but they're not going to really start popping off till they get some better physical attacks, I think. It's nice to have Miracle Water, but they're kind of a flex spot because all their damage comes from their physical, their strength, and so they're typically going to be in a flex spot because they can't typically with their damaging abilities exploit weaknesses, so I don't want them to have them in a spot where I feel like I need to exploit weaknesses. But yeah, that's the team right there. That's what I'm using. I didn't use any of my backups, my stocks, but this is something that's very viable and you can use. You want to switch an elemental in, like, or just use Flamus instead and try to cheese out with the Megatushi, get extra stuff. Jack-o'-lantern is definitely great. He's not like, this is fine. The medium fire attack to one foe and lowers their attack. That's okay, but I mean, Jack-o'-lantern is mostly good because he does damage. The lowering the attack doesn't matter because this boss has such a predictable attack pattern, so you don't really have to worry about that. But yeah, so if you feel like you need some more characters, you know, you could always use some more. But honestly, I got pretty close on the MP, but I ended up doing enough damage where it didn't matter for me, so keep that in mind. Also, I did use the critical. I do think Torrent of Chaos might just do more damage. It's kind of hard to say. If you have a different one you might want to use, you know, it could be better. You could use a jockey or something. If I have one here, there's the one that makes it so you get all of the enemy's stats down to the negative, which is pretty good. But honestly, it's hard to just beat it's hard to beat critical. Honestly, critical is just powerful and it's always good on everybody. It just increases your damage, but maybe even something like a cursed poison would be better at this point. Who knows? It's still basically when I find something good and works and it's on a unit that I want, then I'll use other things. But critical is always there and it's always powerful, so I'm happy with it. But yeah, that's all for the intro, guys. Hope you enjoy the fight. Timestamps, as always, if you wanted to skip this part, remember Plat. But yeah, let me know how you handled this boss. Anyway, much love. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. See you on the flip-flops. Bye! I remember having a really hard time on this boss the first time I played the game, so we'll see how it goes this time. But this boss was like a super learning experience for me, where I learned the power of items, basically. So we got our team set up here. I think I am going to... Let's do critical first. Let's just do damage. I mean, I almost hate this ability because it's so fucking strong. Maybe we'd want to use something else. I don't know. Torrent of Chaos is probably worth using. But she's resistant to Mirage. I'm gonna try it. Yeah, I should probably start trying it on the second turn. But like 110 damage is so good, right? We got our boy here. We're gonna lower the defense. You are going to do medium breath. 167, not bad. I think I want you just to beat down. You know what? You go in fire breath. I think it has a chance to do less damage, but on average, I think it's going to do a lot more. I did give you Recarm. You don't need that, though. Go ahead and Agalio. 207, doing great damage. And unfortunately, we're going to use the... Not unfortunately. Oh, crap. What's the element of the attack? I wrote it down, and then I forgot. Mazio. She has Mazio. Let's do an electric dampener. She never doesn't Mazio here. Let's go. Enjoy having no turn. Fire breath. Yes. We might have to worry about MP. I didn't bring any backup characters, honestly, so that could be on me as well. Like, we might just run out of MP in this fight, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Can you only have 2 stages down? I don't know if it says. Maybe you can only have 2 stages down. Visually, it looks like that. So we might be wasting our turn there. This is 21. Yeah, you're going to run out too fast. Let's do the 12. And then we'll have you just... You could do more damage probably with Mahama. I think. She has no resistance to it. Yeah, but she's weak to this. We have a fire team build going on. And then, I wish I would have gotten this guy's fire breath. I wonder if this would have been good. No, this is fine. I am going to use the issue is I only have three force dampeners, but it should be fine. Good job. You're on it. Yeah, we're gonna Mirage Shot. It does less damage, but it also keeps us going for longer. Maybe I should have given this guy a way to raise our other stats, huh? Kind of get our attack going, just scaling damage probably would have been better. I do think beatdown is just better. Like, we're all strength right now. I'm actually not sure what she's gonna do on this turn. We'll gain some MP back if we don't use our Megatushi gauge. Once we fill it up and we get it, we'll be able to use some. We could use some items here to recover it. I'm not super paranoid about that. She did do Zanma, which is kind of scary. And then here we go. If she would have used Zanma on the wrong character, would we have been kind of screwed? No, no one's weak to it, so we were probably fine. Alright, so I am going to save my Megatushi and use it next turn. Then maybe we even do a Big Bang. Or it'll probably be a Torn to Chaos if I'm being honest. So you got 3 more attacks here, right? Oh shit, is her defense still down? It is. I think I'm going to have you do it next turn. I'm just gonna have you attack. As long as you don't miss, we should be fine. You can Mirage Shot again. Oh yeah, the way I did it's a little messed up here. Because we want you to keep the defense down 2 stages. And then I guess you have to do this. You could just pass, but I don't think that's wise. Unless you miss, in which case then it would have been wise. Ah! Was that it?